Hey Doc, can you hear me?
Hey, Vince, it's Toby.
Hey Toby, how's the Olympic Training Center?
It's great. Can't
Good. They
complain.
let you in the gym?
They let me in the gym.
Awesome. Little wins,
Yeah,
little wins.
yeah, that's right. That's right.
Hey Jeremiah. Hi Sarah.
Hey.
Such a hard way to look at people and see the screen. Ah. Hello Dot. Hey Bill Phillips and Scotty Fight
Hey, Vince.
and Shannon Nesmith. I look forward to getting to know you. Did Toby refer you to this, or did you find us on LinkedIn?
Toby referred me.
Great. And Roy, thanks for calling in. Let's see.
You bet. Thanks.
I see Ricky is here, and I think I've addressed everybody in here. Thanks for attending the inaugural nonprofit circle. We'll get started in a minute here. And Sarah's fan club is in the background. I heard that.
They're all Godzillas. I'm missing 2 out of the 4, but
2 out of the 4. Wow. Only half the fire team, huh?
just left the elementary school so we could go see the oldest's alien presentation. So
Too funny.
firing on all cylinders today.
Maybe I figured this out. That looks a lot better, doesn't it? All right, great. So I can see my slides and I can see you all. So I'm going to get going here. We have a huge variety of veteran leaders of nonprofits today. And so I'm excited to iron sharpen iron today and really talk about some of the things that we're working on and also our vision for bringing our community together so that we can teach one another. I'm Vince Lindenmeyer. I'm calling in from Deerfield Beach, Florida. And Toby Prudhomme, my co-conspirator and the encourager to me to get this going, is at the Olympic Training Center, and he is training to be a Olympic rifleman in the Paralympics. So really proud of him, and I told him that's his priority, as we all should. So, and if I slaughtered that, Toby, please correct me.
It's just everything's correct except pistol, not rifle.
Oh, pistol. That's even harder. Good to know. So brief introductions. I've introduced myself, and I even have a slide on myself because people wanted to know, what's your expertise, Vince? Why the hell are you doing this? So I graduated West Point in 91. The Army overeducated me and gave me 3 free master's degrees, a logistics management I did with tuition assistance, a master's in education. I was a tactical officer at West Point from 2000 to 2004. My wife, Chaplain Cynthia Ramirez Lindenmeyer, was class of 90 and a chaplain during that time, 2000 to 2007. So if you were there during that time, I was there. I helped coach the men's volleyball club, and we did the Protestant Sunday school teachers. Also have a strategic studies degree from the Army War College. And then I decided to get an online PhD in honor of my father, who was a professor emeritus at Clemson University and never finished his PhD. So I got my PhD in his honor, but it also made me passionate about adult education. I also met Toby through North Central University when he was his online doctorate of business administration, his DBA. I've been a nonprofit advisor since 2018. I can't believe I've been retired for over 9 years coming this summer. I've done over 100 nonprofit starts and have clients or have clients in almost every state, including Alaska and Hawaii. Those are sometimes the easiest ones to find clients. I listed all the different types of categories of nonprofits that I've touched. Why do I love helping nonprofits? Because I'm solving problems that are different every day, and it's just exciting to hear about a new challenge and then to have some be forward on that. Jenny Choi, welcome. So now I'm going to back up and we're going to do a little round robin here, starting out with Sarah. Please introduce yourself and talk about, give a quick overview of your nonprofit and what your current focus is and where you're calling from.
Hi, I'm Sarah Geisen. I'm the president and founder of Drew Ross Memorial Foundation. We started that back in 2021, 22 timeframe. My brother was class of 11, killed in 2018 in Afghanistan. And we started his nonprofit to continue to do his work and to put him in the places of the world that he can't be anymore. And I jumped on with Vince courtesy of a good new friend of ours in another nonprofit circle, Jim Hardwick, to get some strategic planning and just a lot of other things fixed so that I can stop drowning. We're at Camp Lejeune, North Carolina. My husband's active duty, so we're here for the timing.
Thank you, Sarah. I just came from strategic planning, and you're going to have to wait till next time when I do my overview of how I do simplified strategic planning using strategy maps next nonprofit circle. So stay tuned.
That's totally fine.
Shannon Nesmith.
Hey everyone, I'm happy to be here. I'm calling from the center of the universe, Fort Bragg. I am not an executive officer or a president yet. I just pretty much have this idea of a nonprofit. I am an ICU nurse and I see a whole bunch of old folks in our area that don't have anyone to love on them, care for them, so I want to kind of do this thing of adopt a grandparent where young folks can adopt older folks and combat that loneliness and help with their everyday life, and also be a mentor to the younger generation, because I feel like the up and coming generation is not headed in the right direction. We're going this way. We need to go that way, so.
Thank you, Shannon. I was a company commander in the 82nd Airborne 27 years ago. That sounds like a very long time, 98 to 2000. So I'm glad it's still the center of the universe, though. That warms my heart. Scott Fight.
All right. My name is Scott Fight, and I knew Vince before he had all those extra letters behind his name. And it's just a testament that people can be redeemed and educated late in life. So shout out to Vince. But no, we're classmates from West Point in '91 together. And I think you asked what are we focused on. I just came through audit season, and now we're entering into 990 prep season for our organization, and as well as trying to keep all the balls in the air. And I'm heading out to Europe tomorrow to do some work for our mission next week. But that's what's going on with us.
Thanks, Scott. Scott is the executive director for the Foundation for Hospital Art, almost 20 years.
Coming up on it, yeah.
Coming up on it. His dad founded the nonprofit. He's out of Atlanta, and he is our gray beard expert, but he shaves. Gray beard being he's really smart with this stuff. So we have experts here. And the other day, Bill Phillips, who's on the call, was wondering, oh my gosh, I'm going to fundraise in different states. What do I do? And I'm like, well, Scott told me what you need to do. And let me tell you. So I passed on the information about Labyrinth, but he's fixing to get donations from other states. So I'm like, let's not worry about it till you get donations.
Mm-hmm.
We'll see. We can talk about that. I'm sure you can help us out. Let's see, Roy Adams.
Hello, Roy Adams here. I'm a retired Army, retired Army Lieutenant Colonel. Vince and I were colleagues in the Army and did some for-profit business together for several years after we both retired. I founded a nonprofit called Chairs of Honor. We build custom heirloom chairs for veterans and then record their story of service and attach that story to the chair via video ID. Vince and I have worked very closely on other projects as well. Currently, my focus is creating a strategic initiative around a mobile workshop where we would go to a group of veterans in a 4-day period, take them from a log to a chair with using primarily hand tools, but in a therapeutic experience of woodworking around chairs and chair making. I reside in outside of Indianapolis, Indiana, so I'm kind of in what we call the Midwest, even though it doesn't feel like it's the Midwest. And that's what I'm currently doing. Thanks.
Thank you, Roy. Ricky Winters.
Hi, all. Military spouse, 22 years. My husband is Navy, currently signed or located here out on the West Coast in California. He's actually attached to Vandenberg Space Force Base for a joint assignment. We are about 12 months from retirement. Sorry, big celebration there. Always look forward to that. And I currently operate my own business from home right now. I work with a couple of folks here on the call, so it's great to see everybody, and I'm looking forward to helping and assisting in any way that I can.
Ricky Winters is a expert compliance officer to help with any nonprofit, so definitely weigh in with her. Jeremiah Savage.
Aloha, everyone. I'm Jeremiah Savage. I'm from Maui, Hawaii. Currently, actually, starting from today, I'm going to be the new elected treasurer for what's called the Long-Term Recovery Group. It's a organization that was started by a well-funded world nonprofit called VOAD. What they do is they parachute in different locations around the world that has natural disasters. We recently had one. If some of you have been akamai, what we call in Hawaii, about like what's been going on. We lost a lot of homes in the Lahaina area. If any of you visited Maui, Lahaina is not there. It's not there anymore. So what we do is we build houses for residents that just can't afford houses and stuff like that. And then on a happier note, I'm also the president for the Valley Isle Roadrunners that owns the Maui Marathon. So I've been on there for 7 years, and it's very fun because it's the one thing in my life that it takes a whole year to plan, but there's a outcome, there's a finish line. and then we wait 2 weeks and we start again. So it's a very fun event, positive event where we get people in the community and visitors to come together in a healthy, enjoyable event. And so that's me. Nice to
Thank
meet
you.
everyone.
Thank you, Jeremiah. Jeannie Choi.
Hi,
Jenny Choi.
everyone. Yep, Jenny Choi here, West Point class of 2005, based in Central Texas, the Austin area. I started a nonprofit called the Heart Space Collective last year with a few classmates as well as another female officer, a friend of ours. We're focused on providing wellness or nature-based retreats for women veterans. So there is that aspect of health, the mental health and wellness that we want to build in, along with some other, unique and creative activities for sort of a restorative weekend for women veterans. Yeah, so we're very new, just last year, but we do have our 501c3 certification.
Thank you, Jenny. I know Chaplain Lindenmeyer would love to get with you because she has the sacred activism community doing some similar things.
Okay, great.
Dorothy Bailey.
Hello, everyone. I am a past, well, I don't like to say past, I say still client of Vince, and also utilize Ricky as well as an admin. But I am kind of like Shannon. I have the vision for Empower Youth Fund, and it came to light with the help of Vince. And what we are strategizing to do, or I should say, I'm strategizing to do, is to capture that underserved youth that has that next level of athletic ability, but does not have the resources to get to that next level. And it's not just a recreational next level, meaning they have the ability to go into the collegiate and possibly into the professional realm. So we're working on some new strategies on how we can reach out to that said community, as well as get grants and funding and things of that nature. So just scratching the surface, kind of reinventing the wheel, if you will. But the vision is there and the need is there. And it came from the heart because I was one of those youth who had that athletic ability, did not have the resources, but I was fortunate enough that my small community and my family assisted me. And I did get to the collegiate and semi-pro level. So it's passionate to my heart, and we're going to make it work. And nice to see you, Scott. It's been a long time.
Good to see you too.
Thank you, Dot. Bill Phillips.
Hey everyone, Bill Phillips. I'm Navy. I'm on terminal leave, and my last day on active duties, March 27th. So counting down the days. I was approved to retire about 2 years ago, and then I got diagnosed with stage 3 colorectal cancer. So derailed the retirement process. Became a full-time patient at Walter Reed. I beat it. I've been through all the motions and all the treatments and surgeries, and now, approved to retire, but I started what's called the KFG Project for Keep Effing Going, and I'm here to improve the patient experience. So all the resources that I got connected to, I had an amazing network of people that rallied around me, and I just want to, it's kind of a blueprint for what I want to give back. And the two main things are life coaching, so partnering with a patient probably about 3 months or so after diagnosis, all the way into survivorship, and then providing respite retreats, just a getaway. So I've got a few coaching schools on board, and just have, it's kind of like the peanut butter meets chocolate moment. I got all the patients and caregivers that I want to help. I have this whole like squadron of coaches, and just kind of bringing them all together and help people keep effing going. Thanks.
I got goosebumps, Bill. Toby, are you still on? All right. Toby may have jumped off. He's my co-conspirator. He's the guy on the slide here. He's the Extreme Adventures executive director. He does trips for veterans to get off their couch and to go experience something adrenaline again. He does shooting events. He does hunting. He does deep sea fishing and scuba diving in Honduras, and they're fully paid trips. So, hey man, that's just worth sticking around here, maybe getting to know him and getting a scuba dive trip out of this. So, you know, let's cross our fingers, see if we can become friends with him. Now I'm going to stop sharing this way, and I'm going to share my entire screen so that I can record briefly a micro lesson on law of circulation here. So just bear with me. Okay, again, the purpose of the nonprofit circle is written here in our mission, and we're here to iron sharpen iron and to grow, sustain our impact and achieve long-term success. So this is a mastermind format, and we're here to identify problems, possibly solve them. We do have a nonprofit circle community. It's in the school platform, skool.com. At the end of this presentation, I will show you how to get on it, and then that's where you'll get all your information and a majority of your questions answered. Okay, so nonprofit circle right now to the admission price is free. But what we're encouraging is an experiment in the law of circulation where you give $10 to the nonprofits that you're inspired to give to, preferably all of them, the ones that gave you bumps. Because each and every one of you, if you're a public charity, you are required by the IRS to receive more than 10%, but less than 33 1/3% of your support from the general public or a governmental, and that's the definition there. So what is the law of circulation? Think about your breath. Take in a deep breath and let it out, and you did not have to pay for that air. It was free and it flows naturally. Think about the tidal of the ocean. I'm a few blocks from the ocean in Deerfield Beach, and the tide rolls in and the tide rolls out, just like currency, which is the US dollar for most of us. It's called a current because it flows back and forth. So the same principle applies to life, prosperity, and giving. And so we have to kind of teach ourselves to let go of scarcity thinking. It's been ingrained in us ever since we had to follow rules in kindergarten. Everything you ever learned you needed in kindergarten, well, you may have learned some bad things in kindergarten about scarcity. Even though they're teaching you to share the crayons, there's only so many crayons. And the law of circulation has unfathomable depth, and that you can know that the universe has plenty to share and about. All boats rise together. So we need to activate this unstoppable cycle of blessings. So nonprofits, businesses, individuals, if they're hoarding their resources and not keeping them in the motion, you know, we can circulate ideas, solutions, love, joy, and financial resources for the greater good. I know I sound like Joel Osteen, and I've been married to a minister since 2000. She went to Duke Divinity School. So bear with me. You know, so scarcity versus flow. The mindset of scarcity, you know, worrying that there won't be enough. Hey, if I give $10, what if I don't get my $10 back? there may be other ways that are coming back to you that you need to open up and really see blessings in action, have a different level of detail, attention to what's going on. Take a mark and look at where your nonprofit is now, of how much money's coming in regularly, and make that mental note that the day you started the nonprofit circle on March 13th, 2025, and let's have a metric. Let's have return on investment of what's going on, the things that you're learning, the money that you donated to others, which is a tax deductible charitable donation for you. So that's a blessing. And then the money that comes into your nonprofit. Wayne Dyer said on abundance, abundance isn't something we own, it's something we participate in. So trust the process. When we release the attachment in what we give, we allow prosperity to flow freely back to us. Think about a kink in the hose. If you're going to give $10 after you get on the school app and you see there's a donation link, you've already kinked the hose if you expect for $10 to come back to your nonprofit. Freely give and allow the universe to surprise you. So let's apply the law of circulation. When you receive a donation, that energy that you're already receiving, do you acknowledge that donor with genuine appreciation? Do you share stories with how their gift made a difference in your mission? Do you keep them engaged with impact and help in the impact they help create? Do you write a handwritten note? We always talk about. Are you hoarding resources, or are you allowing those to circulate? Are you investing in new technology? Are you trying to make things better? Are you looking at your strategic plan to see how you're evolving to new ways as the environment changes? Is your nonprofit organization also adapting to the new environment? There's a vibration with gratitude, excitement, and impact. So as you vibrate out energy, it's going to come back to you. Now, this personal application, bringing circulation into your life. If you feel stuck, ask yourself, am I really giving? Now, again, I sound like a minister, right? The only time you ever heard this talk was in the pew of a church. So what we're trying to do is take this law of circulation, this law of attraction, this abundance mentality, and actually apply it to ourselves and our nonprofit. Can you donate to someone in need? Can you donate to one of the nonprofits in this group? And then can you see that momentum begin to build? Can you offer words of encouragement? Can you look at one of the nonprofit circle members' websites and provide valuable feedback to what they're doing and how they're doing it? Maybe you're saying, hey, love your website, your copyright is 2023. You might want to update that. Well, hey, that's some good blessing coming back. Like, oh, I didn't know that. Thanks. What else did you like? You know, and you're having a conversation about someone else's website. If you have an Apple Watch and it tells you to stand up every hour, do an exercise where you're going to do gratitude, either appreciating nature, supporting a colleague, expressing gratitude to the universe once an hour. So every time the Apple Watch reminds you to do something, also include gratitude. And we talked about giving feedback to another nonprofit circle member's website. So are there any comments about law of circulation? I know I'm really working on Toby in this regards, but he's off the call now, and if he isn't, then he can chime in. But you know, we all need to work more at doing this. My personal application in the law of circulation, when I built this lesson, I did it about a week ago, and right when I finished building the lesson, I got in contact with Roy and I said, hey, I'm doing some strategic planning. Roy Adams, who you met with Chairs of Honor, doing some strategic planning for an equine assisted therapy horse ranch. And I need a new way of doing this. And we explored some options and we discovered a really simple methodology called strategic mapping. And I went and did it yesterday. And my retainer, after doing it last night, the client doubled my retainer. So that would be over the next year, that's a $18,000 gain in the fact that I opened myself up to law of circulation. I talked to a colleague about how he would do strategic planning. I pivoted, I adapted, and then I went and presented a new way. And now there's $18,000 more coming in the next 12 months. So that's a pretty good example. So I implore you to trust the law of circulation, and you will be vastly impressed. How'd I do, Dot?
Very good.
Dot's usually telling me to get with the program. So hopefully I raised myself to her vibration. Okay, the next topic is on grants. A lot of people talk about capacity building. I had a client the other day say, I need to write a grant for my salary. It's like, no, we're not going to do that. You have your orange and your gray and then your programming budget. But this is the time to retire this pie chart. We need to look at programming and fixed costs for a nonprofit as being subsumed in one another. So as you're moving into grant season, take a look at your core functions of your nonprofit and embed your fixed costs inside each programming. So if you're going to do a mentorship program, if you're going to do a nature retreat and you need money for the actual retreat, then that's $10,000. But include another $5,000 so that you can do these core mission support functions, which are your admin and even your own stipend. And never call your salary a salary, but call it a stipend. And there's oftentimes that the executive director, it's better for you to claim expenses and say you get paid zero versus paying yourself a stipend and or salary. The nonprofit could cover your cell phone bill, could cover gas. The IRS write-off now is 70 cents a mile. Like, oh my gosh, that's a lot of money. So think about the cost benefit of getting yourself paid and then having to pay tax on it, or asking the board to approve certain expenses that you can take off your personal bottom line. Cell phone, internet, mileage on your car can go a long way and could add up to $1,000, $1,200, $1,500. Whereas if you get paid $1,500, you're probably going to pay those bills anyway. So think through how you could be an executive director that gets paid zero, but you're also having fixed costs met by the nonprofit. It keeps you motivated. The board knows that, and they're going to approve those type of things. And foundations understand that you have to do this as well. So the nonprofit circle, when you get into the school platform, you'll click on this link and it'll allow you to, come into here. Actually, we're live right now because the link's here. I guess you can go into the school app and come into the call. We currently have 3 discussion areas: the general discussion, where you get welcomed. We have the law of circulation donation, and I put an example donation in here, and this is with Maui Community Foundation. So I have the mission, I have my website, I have the donation link, which is a Give Butter link. The executive director, you met him, is Jeremiah Savage, and I support the Maui Community Foundation, and we're doing great work. So I would hope that you would be able to support that. And so I can learn what your nonprofit cause is. I want you to write something. I want you to post here and then make sure it's going in the law of circulation discussion. Also, we have the introduction section here where I want you to just go in, put a picture, and just talk about yourself so that people know who's in the group. Currently, we have over 10 members, active 10 members. So we have a good size. And again, we're asking for a few things. check out the general discussion, post your nonprofit with a website and donation link, and introduce yourself. We also have the Asana boards and an operating system that are going to be posted inside the school app so that you can have ways to get these boards. Either we can make a team for you and build an operations board in Asana under the Beacon Foresight Group site, and you'll click on board. This is documentation. The gal that's thinking of starting at the center of the universe, Shannon, possibly. So you would be looking at these startup tasks, and these are all the startup tasks to start a nonprofit. And one of the goals of this group is to get you to start your nonprofit on your own with only coaching from the nonprofit circle. Can we do that? Will you allow us the challenge of helping you through the group? You also have an operational agenda, elevator pitch, practice, your annual objectives, quarterly objectives, governance, and other various topics. We also have a compliance board, which is 254 questions of compliance. For you military folks, this is your command inspection for the IRS. So we have IRS recommended policy letters. We have other policies, transparency and accountability. We recommend you start with this, even though these questions are like 228, 229. We have communication, evaluation, financial management, fundraising, governance, HR, IT, planning, public policy and advocacy, strategic alliances, and volunteer engagement. And if you feel stagnant in your nonprofit and you take the compliance Asana board challenge and you knock out those 254 questions, you will not be stagnant anymore. You will have unlocked revenue growth because you're now seeing things differently, and the foundations you're applying to for money through the grant process are seeing that you got your act together, you have the right policy letters, and you're doing a lot better. And then finally, the operating system. This is a unique approach to actually implementing and executing your daily operations. Yes, we have the operations board, but this is a full brand review. And if anyone was ever participant in the Lions Pride, which was Bill Watkins' class of 74, if you were ever a member of the Lions Pride, this was a free tool that he used that we're pivoting to nonprofits. What is your big, hairy, audacious goal? What is your X factor? What is your hedgehog strategy? Review your brand. What is your unique point of view? What's your brand challenge, your brand spark? Oh, what are all these terms? Just go to the right, and there's a whole self-explanatory definitions of this. And this is something that we can work through over time. There's a 3-year plan. There's a 1-year plan with your key results, performance indicators, targets, and then there's a 90-day plan. And this is all about KFGN and GSDN, getting shit done, Bill. We have a WhatsApp group that you can put questions in. So we'll ask for your phone number to get you aligned in that. And then we also have the meeting cadence. The WhatsApp group are for quick questions or camaraderie, whatever you want to do. Hey, I'm about to go into this meeting. Need some quick encouragement, or I have a quick question. And then finally, we're going to do meeting cadence of 2 group mastermind sessions a month. This is the 2nd and 4th Thursday of the month. And then I'm also offering a monthly 15-minute coffee where you can click on this link and we can just do 15 minutes one-on-one so that you can get over the hump on something, or you want to learn more about something, or, hey, I want the Asana boards, but I want them on my own account. Can we do that together? So there's work to do, but I'm here to help. And this is my way of paying it forward, and this is all law of circulation if you get it. So now we do have time. We have 20 minutes until the top of the hour. So we do have time for one or two members to share a challenge or opportunity, or to ask questions about the law of circulation, about grant writing, which should be something on your minds. It's actually grant season, believe it or not, and or anything about the school app or the nonprofit circle. The floor is open. Let's see. Oh, we've had a couple people added since I started talking. So let's see. Yeah, it was Shannon. I got that right. Shannon, are you still in? Did you see the checklist for your nonprofit start there? And Jeannie, if you're available, would you like to talk about how new you are and how you're building momentum for your first retreat and how we could help you?
Sure. We are officially incorporated as of September of last year in the state of Texas. And then I believe we got our 501c3 pretty quickly. They have the new e-file application. And so I think it only took about 1 or 2 months after submission to get it back. So that was pretty nice. I know it's been kind of a burden in the past from what I've heard. So now we are targeting June of this year for our very first retreat in the Austin, Texas area. So right now we're really just focused on fundraising for that, with the idea also that we may, just because this is sort of a pilot program for us, this first retreat, we may need to sort of think of it as like beta testing, to test out some of our programming and activities, and getting the right participants that are willing to be a little bit more flexible and forgiving, I guess, to give us that feedback. So fundraising and planning of the agenda is what we're really focusing on for this very first event. One thing that maybe Vince, I can put out as a question for you or the group is, in terms of how sort of this our founding members are structured, there's 4 of us total. We all have day jobs. 2 are still active duty, actually. And so it is, just sort of a side hustle, I guess, for all of us. Right now, I probably have the most capacity, and I've kind of taken the lead in doing a lot of the tasks and activities. But I'm curious, is there a recommendation of how do we structure ourselves as either co-founders or advisory boards or a board of directors or all of the above? And, do we need to sort of agree as a group of how much time, commitment, and even initial money investment we should make in the beginning to sort of build that expectation that we all contribute fairly, moving forward?
I'll take a stab at this, Vince, if you want.
Sure.
Okay. So I told you that I sit on a very complicated board called the LTGR. The LTGR started last year as a 501c, and we have like a lot of people, including Red Cross, FEMA, high executives in the community that have been around for a long time. And the first thing that you notice is that all of us are also sitting on other boards. Like literally, I didn't tell you the other stuff I do. I'm also going to be the finance director and operation manager for a $10 million children's nonprofit as well. as well as working with Vince and Ricky in the Maui Community Foundation. And we also help other nonprofits in capacity building. And I have to say in the beginning, when you start a nonprofit, there is a little what Vince likes to call bootstrapping. It's going to be a lot of hard work. It's just like setting up any business, and the passion for what you're doing has to be your motivation to do it. But to answer your question specifically, I even on the Maui Marathon, we have so many committee members. Like on the LTGR, I think I counted this morning, we have 8 committee members. And each one of those committee members have their own team that they're in charge of. Like I used to be the finance chair, so it would be my task to go out and find others who have that discipline and areas of expertise to bring them into the board. In the beginning, you have lots of meetings. But to answer your question, it's a team approach, and you have to find people with a passion for your mission, and you have to be able to be very good at delegating and also trusting. You have to trust that people will do what they say they're going to do, and say, hey, I'm only one person. I'm leading the torch right now, but for right now, I can do this, but I need help. I can't do this by myself. And that's just the blunt truth of it all. Anyway.
Yeah.
That's great, Jeremiah. Again, they're really going back to the law of circulation. There really is no equity theory. You're not going to get 25%, 25% across the board.
Mhm.
So let's like have that truth. But if we're working from a place of passion, then people are doing the work that they want to do. And that's really what you have to be a good listener to hear what it is they want to do. Maybe you're going to find someone that loves social media. I am a bit concerned that you're trying to pull off a retreat in June and you haven't put anything out there yet, or maybe you haven't secured a venue. I do have a colleague in Austin. He's a member of the school community already, Brandon Murgat. He's the meditation community Austin. He was trained in China for meditation over 15 years, and now he lives in Austin. He's building the meditation community. There's also a school online app, and he was the one that recommended school for our community. He has done a silent retreat in Austin, and he does have lots of resources. So I will, with your permission, make the introduction. And that's
Sure.
really how you tackle this is we must be collaborative. We must open ourselves up to new relationships. Maybe he already has a template. Maybe he has catering. He has like photographers. He has like a list of people that he's built. And yes, they're his people. And but then if you're trying to pull something off in a short time period, at least they've been vetted once for another previous retreat. So those are the type of things that you open yourself up to. Also, job descriptions are great. Advisory board members that are active voting members are different than advisory board members that are just like throwing in advice every once in a while or writing a check every once in a while. And really defining those roles and getting them on paper, putting additions into your bylaws are very important so that people know their role and know what they signed up to do. And as soon as you have the core basics down, feel free to expand your board so that you can have a committee for retreats. Maybe you have a separate committee for a retreat in the fall, which is going to be your big retreat, which is a little bit more planning time than the pilot program in June, which is okay. I don't want to be doom and gloom about that, but you need a good 8 weeks out to pull this off, and that's even short notice. But if you're already planning one for the fall, that would be good too. I would launch a second retreat in the fall as well very quickly.
Okay.
And anyone else have any advice for Jenny in the hot seat? Thank you for volunteering.
Thanks for your feedback.
Bill.
Yeah, I'm kind of going through the same thing. So we just had our first board meeting February 20th, and there was just it was just assembling my network of people that have helped me or want to be a part of it or expressed interest. And then it's like I've got the officers in place. So we needed the president, vice president, treasurer, secretary. I had that. And then I have a couple of board, director seats, voting members, and then making everybody else advisors. and the advisors still have key roles. And I have 2 out of the 3 directors already set. The last one is kind of too busy and probably not up for the challenge. But I told them all, like, you got to commit at least 5 hours a week to this, and it's going to be a lot of, a lot of churn and a lot of, like, kind of figuring this out as we go along. But what I found is, like, it's up to me to, like, all right, I'm putting a meeting on the calendar, committee for whatever you need to talk, you need to meet, and, like, I'm attending those and trying to, like, plant the seed, water it, get it to grow, and then hopefully step back. But I'm still very involved, and it's really busy right now.
Yeah, Bill has a unique challenge. He's got the Bill Phillips fan club that have all been invited to his board. So he's still trying to sort out who's passionate about what and what they really want to do. But man, was that a board meeting of the Bill Phillips fan club? And you have a lot of fans and a lot of people that love you. And now we got to start saying, well, what is it you really want to do? Put up or shut up. But yeah, that's part of the problem too. Like, hey, everyone loves the idea, but now we got to start rowing. Dot's had some challenges with boards. Do you have any input for Jenny?
I actually don't have any input. I was gonna commend Jeremiah on what he said because that's kind of like the direction that we're going. It's definitely a group of people that have the same passion, that have the passion for what you're asking them to do, as well as the time. And I'm kind of like Bill as well. I feel like and Jeremiah, you're carrying the torch. Like Vince knows, I work in Fort Lauderdale. Work at the airport. I work the grunt shift as a rookie promotion. So I work 10:30 at night till 7 in the morning. I haven't even gone to bed yet because I had a slew of things to do. Vince lit some fire under my butt at my last board meeting. I have a meeting with Ricky tomorrow, so I wanted to be very productive. So I've been putting some things together to make sure that that's good to go. But that's the passion that I have for what I'm doing. Now I have to find those type people. Everyone's not going to be like me because it's not their vision, it's not their passion. But I got to find those type people that are willing to give, like Bill said, the 4 or 5 hours, because at the end of the day, you can't do it all by yourself. It's not going to work. I've tried it and it's a fizzle. So we're taking a different approach, and this time around it's going to look a little different on my end. But yeah, it's a lot of work. It really is.
Yeah, it's very entrepreneurial. Like Jeremiah said, you're bootstrapping, you're entrepreneurial. And that first pilot program in June, that's when people see the true possibilities. They see the true healing. They see the true solace, the silence, the wellness of that whole weekend. And now you got them hooked. You got the hook set, and now they want to give forward. So the people that you invite to that pilot program, you're really going to sell out and court them to see the possibilities of becoming part of the organization and paying it forward. So that's probably your opportunity. Anyone else? Scott, did you pop up?
Yeah. The only thing I was going to say, I joined, I got interrupted as life goes, but we did an interesting exercise last year, and it really helped us tremendously. This thing like they do in elementary schools when you have a kid and the teacher puts up 20 sticky notes on the chalkboard, and it says, hey, I need this, I need markers, I need tablet, whatever. And parents walk in and they go, I got that, I'll take that one. And then they bring it into the classroom. So we took that approach and we said, okay, here's the 20 things that we need to move this organization forward, and looked at the board members and said, all right, you're going to take 1 or 2 off the board because I can't do it all. And so they start looking at it going, ooh, I can do that one. Oh, I don't have the skill set for that task. And all of a sudden you have 20 critical things that everybody on your board's working on, but they're become passionate about it because they took it off the board. And when they take it off the board, they feel ownership to deliver. And it's worked.
Okay, great. Well, thank
Yeah,
you everyone
I
for the
appreciate
feedback.
that one. I just like sent this feverish email to my dad. I'm like, this is what we need to do. We need to know what we need though.
Yeah.
But
You know what true leadership is in the military. You know, you need to know commander's intent. In the in nonprofit world, I call it leader's intent. You know, purpose, method, end state. You got to frame what it is you want for your end state. You got to describe what that retreat looks like, the essential elements of a great retreat. You got to define those elements and those capabilities that the nonprofit needs to deliver. And now you're finding those sticky notes. And now you're putting out there, I need a good meditation leader. I want a woman meditation leader. Can anyone find one of those? I need a good caterer. I want whole foods. I want plant-based. Can anyone find that? You have to define all the requirements, and then things will evaporate off your plate. The hard work is the leader's intent and framing the problem and then defining the requirements. So you're back to military planning. That's great. We'll release you out of the hot seat unless there's any other final comments. Or do you want to reflect back anything or just give gratitude back to this awesome group?
Yes, definitely gratitude. Everybody's feedback has been great. I've taken notes. I think, you know, I kind of understand the approach and we'll, you know, apply it back to our group. And, you know, we're going to still try to march forward with that goal in June.
yeah, it's
Perfect.
not easy. It's not easy at
Right.
all. So it's really
Sharon,
hard. I
go
feel like
ahead.
I'm probably in the same situation as Bill.
Sorry, I'm driving. Jenny, I just wanted to chime in. I just recently went on an all women's veteran retreat. Back in October, I went through Travis Mills. So if you're looking at a different perspective as far as someone that went through it, I'm all here for you.
Yes, would love your feedback.
Yeah, definitely.
Thank you.
Great. Let me move to our wrap up so that we could get you on your way. I know that you guys are fired up. You got goosebumps when you heard Bill. So recap of key takeaways. We talked about the law of circulation. We talked a little bit about grants. We got to put Jenny in the hot seat for her retreat prep and her nonprofit building a board, and everyone. The first meeting we had a practice nonprofit circle in February, and that was the main issue was board development, board creation, and I can build some notes on that too. I also have fundraising 101 slides and board development slides, so we can get into that. So next steps are please get into the nonprofit school here, classroom, the discussion, our community board. Please introduce yourself. Please put your nonprofit organization in here so we can exercise the law of circulation. We encourage you to give $10 to each nonprofit as you're led and try the experiment. And we want everyone to participate by putting your own nonprofit in there. And you're going to get at least $10, hint, hint. So I had a really good week.
Vince, I have a question. So everyone here will have their nonprofit in this section. I can't read it. Yeah, this
law of
section.
circulation
So,
donations.
yes. And so we will just go to their button and
You'll
donate.
go into the button and then you'll see you'll read about them and go to the donation link.
Got it.
And it's just an experiment. We do have some ideas moving forward where we may do bit.ly links and count clicks, and we'll have a dashboard, a self-reporting dashboard of how much money you received based on how many clicks you had. But we're developing those metrics. But right now, it's a trust the universe and see what happens. We have a membership request pending, and Jeremiah, you're now in the circle. All right. Um, so the next meeting is 2 weeks from now. So that's 27 March at 3 p.m. Eastern. And we had people in California and Hawaii. Thank you, Ricky and Jeremiah, for participating. And in my gratitude, I have a closing affirmation. For all of us, I affirm that our nonprofits are thriving, abundantly supported, guided by divine wisdom. Every resource, opportunity, and connection flows to us effortlessly, empowering us to create lasting impact. We operate in the natural rhythm of giving and receiving, knowing that prosperity is continuous, limitless flow. As we serve with joy, integrity, and purpose, the universe meets our every need, magnifying our mission and expanding our reach. You folks are creating genuine legacy, and I thank you for being a part of this group. You're free to go and you're free to stick around, and I'll be around for a few minutes for any alibi questions or thoughts. Thank you.
Thanks, Vince.
Take care,
Thanks,
Scott.
Vince.
Thank you.
Everyone
All right,
have a good read.
Thank
Get
you,
some
Sarah.
sleep.
Jeremiah, you got your first cup of coffee yet?
Yeah, I've been up for a while. I have had a couple meetings. Yeah, they're gonna make me the treasurer today for that LTGR. That rebuilding homes is really it's a learning process for me. It's the most complicated nonprofit I've ever sat on before. Shannon, I hear you on there. It's interesting because you have case management, you have like disaster recovery, psychological mentoring, you have volunteers because we have like over 300 volunteers that we have to actually build a house for them to be housed in, for them to build other houses. We have like materials, resource management. We have a warehouse of appliances. We have 800 houses to build. We have, it's complicated, and it's exciting at the same time because I'm part of the finance, Shannon. So what I love about that is that every time I have to give my presentation, I'm not sitting there bawling my eyes out because everybody else, like, they're saying, oh, we just helped this 90-year-old woman and she's so appreciative. She only has $47,000 in her bank account and she makes like only $900. There's no way she would ever be able to build a house, right? And so to do something like that just makes you feel whole inside. So that's a really cool thing.
Shannon, are you sticking around for a question?
Yeah, but I just want to say, Jeremiah, what you're doing is amazing. People are blessed to have you in their life. I just wanted to know, as far as the donation thing, since I don't like have a actual nonprofit, like what do I just put a little like intro, I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, so until we get you registered in North Carolina and you're actually really doing this, I mean, we go through a mission, vision, values discussion for you. We can, we have people that hire Beacon Foresight Group to start nonprofits if you just want us to help you start it. And that's a package. You can actually get with Jeremiah, and Maui Community Foundation can start the nonprofit for you too. So if you want to work with him, that's for sure. Now he's a busy guy, but he would actually make me do the work. But either way, if you found value in this mastermind, you could give $10 to one of the nonprofits that you like right now, that you connected with, maybe the retreat in Austin, because you're going to talk with Jenny anyway. And you're like, hey, I gave $10. And the law of circulation is like, oh my gosh, like, Shannon, you don't even have a nonprofit and you gave me $10 and you're going to help me with she's going to start crying. She's so overwhelmed. So that law of circulation, I'm predicting, it's going to be really overwhelming for lots of people. But just give to the nonprofits that you see fit as you benefited from this conversation and you're starting to get excited about your idea. And if you want more time, you know, you can get 15 minutes with me. You can get a half hour with me. We can like start to push forward so you can identify a name, have a mission, have a vision, and we can at least get you authorized to North Carolina. And then you can receive donations, and then we can decide when you want to do your 1023 and actually apply for your letter of determination. That's when your donations would become tax deductible. But as soon as you become a North Carolina nonprofit, you can receive donations and receive income.
Okay.
Hey Shannon, I'm gonna take the liberty of saying this.
Okay.
Anyone in any community that has a vision and the drive and the spirit to help others, you get to have permission to do that in the community. There is nothing wrong with you starting a GoFundMe, Give Butter thing right now, making a plan right now, what you want to do, like estimate how much this is going to cost, the start of getting a nonprofit. You know, it can take a couple $1,000s at least minimum to even, you know, having time and getting other people or buying materials or building a website, all that stuff. You have permission to go on there and say, I'm going to start a nonprofit. If you know me personally, I would like you to donate to my cause, and I'm going to start this nonprofit. Dang it. Anyone who wants to volunteer? If you don't want to volunteer, give me some money. Like,
yeah.
you have permission to go out there and ask people for help because you're doing good for the community.
Yeah.
Also,
I mean, oh, good. Sorry.
Well, also there's a gal, Natalie, of the Veterans Collaborative, and she helps people start nonprofits, or she helps people as the fiduciary. And she didn't attend today. I was begging her to get to participate, but that's probably why she didn't attend. She's like, it's going to be a waste of my time. No, so I can do an introduction to Natalie, and she's the Veterans Collaborative, and they actually have resources to help people start nonprofits. And one of those ways is they'll be your fiduciary, so they'll oversee the initial income coming in. They may also have a small grant for you to pay the fees to start your nonprofit. We'll just have to see like how well they're funded. And Natalie's she's an expert.
Awesome. Yeah, no, I really appreciate this opportunity and meeting everybody and all that. I'm really big into networking. That's what I did in the military too. But a little bit kind of about me is God has blessed me with my life. Money is not an issue. Like he was like, here you go. And I feel like I'm on the right path that he wants me on. I'm about to change jobs. I start a new job next week to where I'm kind of part-time, to where I could put my all into this nonprofit and really focus on it. So I'm excited.
What was your mission? Like, were you angling towards right now?
So in the sense, it's almost like adopt a grandparent. So it's
That's
like
right.
us young folks can adopt older folks like Vince. I mean, I'm just playing. Older folks in their like 80s and 90s because, you know, I work in the ICU and I see old folks that don't have anybody. They don't have family and friends around anymore, especially being here in a huge military community. You know, everybody's moving away. So it's just like, let's combat that loneliness that people have. You know, like maybe we can help bring down the suicide rates. You know, maybe the older people can mentor the younger people, you know, be like, no, Shannon, that's a dumb idea. Don't do that, you know?
No,
Yeah, I
that's
think
great.
that's a great idea. I could see you collaborating with as you're setting this up. Think about collaborating with other nonprofits or other things that do community events. And just because they're older people that you want to work with, what you can do is figure out a way to interact and make it friendly for the old people, so they have activities that they could have access to in transportation and times, and you know, making a calendar for them, communicating with them. This is gold. This is great. And I could also see a lot of funders that would would be totally willing, as well as state, local, and federal grant money. But before you think about federal money, but like local grants or local foundations are probably where it's at with this. So there's
Okay.
lots of opportunity for you on this.
Yeah. Thank you guys. Y'all are awesome.
Yeah, Natalie said last nonprofit circle, start local with fundraising. Mentoring is a good keyword for you. Adopt a grandparent, of course. Churches love these ideas. Churches you may want to do the round with the churches where once you have an elevator pitch, you make rounds on Sundays and tell people what you're trying to do. And yeah, you're well on your way. But I'll give you an introduction and happy to speak with you one-on-one
Yeah.
at your convenience.
Yeah, definitely. And maybe even your wife too, because so I'm thinking of the name, you know, and obviously that's like really hard. But I'm thinking in regards to Timothy and Paul, like a Timothy to Paul type thing, like in the Bible, type name. I don't know. Just
Yeah,
ideas. So
scan the environment. There are a couple of adopted grandparent organizations out there. Kind of see what's already out there. So that's
yeah.
step one of strategic planning, scan the environment.
Yes.
All right. Well, great getting to know you. And Toby's training for the Olympics. I'm glad he invited you.
Yeah,
And
me too.
thanks for your testimony. And you got us fired up. Take care.
Thank you. Thanks for y'all's time.
Feel free to reach out to me anytime you want.
Okay. Thanks, Jeremiah.
Bye.
Bye, Vince.